Big Guy Fitness Daily Journal, day 18. Let's talk a little about fat cells and fat cell reproduction. Let's get all sciencey. Let's talk about how this affects future weight loss and fat loss and the mental ability to stay unstressed because of it. So let's talk about a story here. I, all my life, was 5'11". As I get older, I'm probably 5'10" and a half, maybe even 5'10". I've always been around that 170 range, 165, maybe up to 175, within that range. But over the years, twice in my life, I've gotten up to the 200 pounds, 216, I think, was my most. And then I came down to maybe 180, then I went right back up to that same weight. Does not look good on me. Being 50 pounds overweight, 45, 50 pounds, is not a fun, healthy feeling or look. So the thing I didn't understand, though, with all these things that we do, and this is the point of this, is we can have days where we finally lose the weight, most of it. We start seeing some definition in things, and we start feeling good. And then there are other days we'll look in the mirror and we're like, what is going on? I look so puffy. I was looking so great the other day. And there are some things we can control and some things we can't. You know, if we had a bad binge night of eating, I mean, that's the reason. Do we have to look any further? But there are other things that we can't control, especially after 50. And those are the things that we cannot let get in our head and get us stressed. Because stress, as you know, completely eliminates all weight loss, all muscle gain. It's not good. That's why you need good, healthy sleep. Relieve yourself of stress. So with this, the fat cell thing is interesting. I just learned it actually the other day. And I was doing some more research on it. So basically, when you gain weight, especially if you're gaining a lot of weight, if you're really fat, or as politically correct you'd say, slightly overweight, you in order to gain that weight, your fat cells end up duplicating, and now you have more fat cells, and then those split and duplicate. And the thing is, when you lose weight, those fat cells don't disappear. They just shrink. And when they shrink very, very small, that's when you start getting really, really hungry. Okay? Because, as you would imagine, your fat cells are trying to survive, right? Every cell in your body is trying to survive. And one of the survival features is to say, I'm dying here, feed me. I need to survive. So, eventually you can get over that, but the problem is those fat cells are still there. And those fat cells are really, really good at absorbing water. Now you have more fat cells than usual, and if you eat a lot of food with water, drink a lot of water, those things will all of a sudden puff up because they just want something. And that's where you get a puffy look. Now, if you were younger, or you didn't have all those fat cells that split and now live within you, only half that amount of fat cells would be absorbing water, so you wouldn't look as puffy. So the fact that you're younger, plus you didn't get super overweight, now you have this issue. It's not an issue, it's just something you have to realize that, you know what, sometimes when I look in the mirror, it's not because of my diet, or it's not because I didn't push too hard with the weights or resistance training. There are other factors of why we may not look exactly like we want to. And again, most of this is not about, for me at least, it's not about look and vanity. It's about getting healthier, feeling healthier. That look thing is fun and inspiring because I'm like, oh my God, I'm looking like I did when I was younger. Never going to look exactly like that. But you just have to understand, if your goal is to have a six-pack, and after 50, it's really hard, and there's a lot of reasons for that. You need more protein. Your muscles need to absorb more protein. If you're not feeding it protein, there's no way you're going to get jacked and ripped. as fast, and maybe not at all. So you just have to take these things into consideration when you're doing this. Realize it's a lifelong change. It kind of damaged our body a little bit by gaining way too much weight, and damaged our body just getting older, right? Gravity's pulling us down, our skin's getting thinner and less tight, so when we do lose that weight, when we were younger, the skin would snap back and form around the muscles. Now it's a little flabbier. A lot of times, especially if you gain that extra 30 to 50 pounds, you end up getting weight around the gut, especially men. All the fat goes around here first, then it comes up, then it goes around the chest, then it starts going in the other areas. Women, it goes around the hips and the waist, the hips and the thighs and the glutes and the butt. So we all have our issues. Some people get it in the face first. And the weight will come off in its own order for different people, but for the most part it comes off the face, or you'll start seeing it around the neck and the shoulders and the arms, then the chest a little bit. The last for most men is around the waist. And so just understand what it is. Now if you're, like I said, 50 pounds overweight at a certain point and you lost all that, you're gonna have saggy skin after 50. It's not gonna snap back. It's got nowhere to go. So sometimes people have the elective operations. I saw one guy, it was Dr. Mike, Renaissance Periodization. I think it's called RP Sports or something. And he just had this operation. He was a big bodybuilder. And he said it was the worst thing. I mean, it's great. He needed it. He wanted it. But it was awful. I mean, he had gained so much mass. And then he had gotten so big that he just had all this extra skin in his aging process. So, point is, don't let these things stress you out too much, because you can't do anything about our age. I can't do anything about being a bald, no eyebrow. I mean, I guess I could paint eyebrows. I guess I can get a hair transplant or something. We can lose weight. It's not going to look like we were in our 20s, but just be okay with that. Less stress, better. We're still looking 100 times better than 80% of the people in the world if we're doing what we're doing. And be proud of that, and let that be some inspiration to keep going. But don't let these little things that, looking puffy, looking not, one day, 3 days, you have good days, and then one day you look puffy. Well, there could be a million reasons for that. As long as you're staying on target with your diet, fitness, don't let those small little setbacks stress you. As far as music listening for the day, I turned on some John Mayer. If you want to hear more about that in the short, click the link below, look in the description. John Mayer is such a cool thing to get back to when you're a guitar player, because he plays stuff that's so lyrical and musical, all these bends and all these cool little phrases. It's not about licks. All the stuff I was doing the last couple of weeks was very guitar centric, where it was arpeggios and our speed picking and fun, cool, awesome guitar stuff. But as far as music goes, and soulful playing, it's fun to get back into, like the Eric Claptons and the John Mayers and all the more bluesy players. It's fun to bounce back and forth. So check that out. I also did some lessons a long time ago I broke down and did a transcription of John Mayer's Bold as Love, which is a Jimi Hendrix tune cover. And his solo on that is so awesome. It's just so much cool bending and just playing ahead of the beat, behind the beat. It is a fun little guitar venture. So if you're into that stuff, check that link. I'll put it in the description. And other than that, everybody have an amazing day. Can't believe it's August already. I'm hearing all the commercials for Disney's Halloween starting August 20 something to this October 30. It's way too soon for this crap. It really is. Everybody have an amazing day. Enjoy your fitness journey, and we'll see each other on the next one.